Steam hissed from the espresso machine as Ethan wiped the counter, his once perfectly manicured hands now rough from weeks of grinding coffee beans. The morning rush at Bean Bloom Café was chaos, orders flying, cups clattering, and impatient customers tapping their feet. Just another day for Ethan the barista, not Ethan Cole, the billionaire CEO of one of America's biggest tech companies. "Order for Maya," he called out, forcing a polite smile. The woman who stepped forward had tired eyes but a spark of kindness that made her stand out. She smiled back. "You make the best caramel latte here," she said. Her voice had a warmth that cut through the noise. Ethan froze for a second, caught off guard. "Thanks," he replied, pretending to wipe a spill to hide his grin. He wasn't supposed to get attached. This whole thing started as an experiment, a desperate search for genuine connection. After years of fake smiles and gold-digging girlfriends, he decided to trade his tailored suits for an apron to see if love could exist without money. Nobody here knew who he really was, not even Maya. She returned the next morning and the next. Sometimes she brought a sketchbook, sometimes just her phone, always ordering the same caramel latte. "You ever get tired of this job?" she asked one slow afternoon. Ethan shrugged. "It's peaceful, honest work." She laughed softly. "You talk like someone who used to live a different life." That hit him like a punch. "Maybe I did," he said quietly. She didn't press further, but her eyes lingered, curious. Days turned into weeks. They grew closer, sharing jokes between customers. Ethan learned she was an artist trying to save for her first gallery show. She learned he lived a simple life and rented a tiny apartment nearby. Each lie he told burned a little more than the last, but the fear of losing her kept him silent. One rainy evening, they both stayed late cleaning the cafe after closing. The lights dimmed, and the air was filled with the scent of roasted beans and rain. Maya hummed as she mopped, her hair damp from the drizzle. "You ever feel like you're meant for something more?" she asked suddenly. Ethan looked up from the counter. "I used to think that," he said. "Now I just want something real." She smiled. "Real is good. I like real." Before he could stop himself, he said, "Would you still like someone if you found out they weren't who they said they were?" Maya paused, frowning. "Depends. If they lied to hurt me, no. But if they lied to protect something, maybe I'd try to understand." That answer sank deep into him, twisting between guilt and hope. The next day, the cafe was packed. Ethan worked beside his loud, gossip-hungry co-worker, Lisa, who never missed a chance to snoop. She caught him checking his phone, a sleek prototype only a few tech insiders could own. "Where'd you get that?" she asked. "Looks expensive." "Gift," he replied quickly. Lisa squinted. "You're too polished to be just a barista, Ethan. You hiding something." He forced a laugh. Only bad latte art, but the tension in his chest grew. That night, Ethan met his assistant, Miles, in a parked car 2 blocks away. "You've been gone for a month," Miles said. "The board's getting restless." "I need more time," Ethan said. "I'm close." Miles frowned. "To what? Falling in love or ruining your reputation?" Ethan sighed, staring out at the glowing cafe sign. "Maybe both." The next morning, Maya showed up early, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You're always the one serving. Thought I'd switch it up," she said shyly. Ethan chuckled. "That's unfair. You make better coffee than I do." "Doubt it," she teased. "Mine came from a vending machine." They laughed, but the moment was tender, fragile. When she left, Ethan watched her disappear into the busy street, his heart aching with something he hadn't felt in years, peace mixed with fear. Then came the company charity gala, a grand annual event for coal industries. Ethan's name was on every banner, every invitation, though no one knew where he was. Lisa, ever curious, stumbled upon one of the flyers while scrolling social media on her break. She froze when she saw the photo of Ethan Cole, billionaire CEO, same face, same eyes, same smile. Her coffee cup fell to the floor. "Oh my God," she whispered. Later that day, Maya walked into the cafe as Lisa whispered to the manager, eyes wide with shock. Ethan felt the air shift before he even turned around. He caught Lisa's gaze and the sly, knowing grin that followed. His stomach dropped. "Hey, Maya," Lisa called out loudly. "Did you know our sweet barista here is actually a billionaire CEO?" The cafe fell silent. Maya blinked, confused. What? Lisa spun her phone around, showing Ethan's corporate photo. Recognize him? Ethan Cole, the guy on Forbes' cover last year. He's been lying to everyone. Ethan's throat went dry. Maya stepped back slowly, her cup trembling in her hand. Tell me it's not true, she whispered. Ethan opened his mouth, but the words tangled in guilt and fear. Maya, I can explain. Don't, she said, tears forming. You lied to me. Before he could reach her, she turned and walked out into the rain, leaving the cafe door swinging behind her. Ethan stood frozen, watching her vanish into the storm, the taste of regret bitter on his tongue. Ethan didn't go to work the next day, or the day after. The cafe felt like a ghost every time he walked past it. Through the glass, he could see Maya's empty corner table, no sketchbook, no caramel latte, no smile. He thought about going inside 100 times, but turned away each time, afraid that one more lie would destroy whatever pieces of trust remained. Days turned into weeks. The media had caught wind of his disappearance, spinning headlines like "Billionaire CEO Goes Missing," "Secret Life," or "Scandal." Ethan ignored them all. None of it mattered. The board wanted answers. Maya wanted distance. And all he wanted was the one thing he couldn't buy, her forgiveness. One night, Ethan sat in his penthouse, surrounded by glass walls and silence. The city glittered below, but it felt emptier than ever. He scrolled through his phone, stopping at the cafe's Instagram page. A new post caught his eye, a photo of Maya smiling weakly behind the counter, captioned, "Sometimes love leaves, but art stays." The next morning, he made a decision. He shaved, dressed simply, and walked straight into Bean Bloom Café. Conversations died mid-sentence. Everyone stared. Lisa froze behind the counter, eyes wide with regret. Maya looked up from the espresso machine and froze. He walked up slowly. "One caramel latte," he said softly. Maya hesitated, then began making it, hands trembling slightly. Neither spoke until she slid the cup toward him. "That'll be $4.50. He placed a folded check on the counter. "For the cafe," he said. "New machines, staff raises, whatever you need. I didn't come here to buy forgiveness. I came to say I'm sorry." She stared at him, her expression unreadable. "You lied to me, Ethan." "I know," he said, "and I hate myself for it. I thought if you knew who I was, you'd never see me, so I became someone else, someone who could learn what it means to be real again." Her eyes glistened. "You think I cared about your money? I cared because you listened. You made coffee like it mattered. You made me feel like I mattered." He took a shaky breath. "You do, you always did." For a moment, neither moved. The cafe hummed softly around them. Then Maya whispered, "I just needed honesty, not perfection." Ethan nodded. "Then let me start again. As the man who loves your art, your laugh, your strength, not the CEO, not the billionaire, just me." She looked at him for a long time, searching for truth in his eyes. Finally, she exhaled and said quietly, "Finish your shift, barista." A small, broken smile crept onto his lips. He stepped behind the counter and began helping her, just like before, pouring milk, steaming foam, handing out cups. The others watched silently as the two of them moved in rhythm, a quiet forgiveness blooming between the noise of orders and clinking cups. Hours later, as the cafe emptied and the lights dimmed, Maya turned to him. "I still don't know if I can trust you completely," she said softly. "I'll earn it," he replied, "one coffee at a time." She nodded, then took a deep breath. "Good, because tomorrow you're opening the shop." He laughed for the first time in weeks. "Yes, boss." That night, as he walked Maya home under the city lights, they didn't talk about the past or the lies. They just walked, side by side, their hands brushing occasionally, their hearts cautiously healing. Months later, the cafe hosted a small art exhibition, Maya's first. Her paintings lined the walls, each one capturing moments of emotion, vulnerability, and hope. In the center hung a simple piece, a cup of coffee, steam rising in the shape of a heart. Ethan stood in front of it, smiling. When Maya joined him, he whispered, "You turned pain into beauty." She smiled back, "You turn lies into lessons." He took her hand. Maybe together we can turn them into forever. She didn't answer with words, just squeezed his hand tighter. The crowd around them clapped as someone announced her painting had sold for thousands, but Maya only looked at Ethan. For the first time, she wasn't looking at the billionaire or the barista. She was looking at the man who finally learned what love meant when money couldn't buy it. Later that night, Ethan posted a message on his company's page. Success means nothing if you have no one real to share it with. Find someone who sees the person, not the title. The post went viral, sparking thousands of comments about honesty, humility, and love. Sometimes, you have to lose everything money can buy to find the one thing it can't, true love. Would you fall in love with someone who hid their true identity? Tell us in the comments. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you believe real love still exists.